Hello, my absolutely brilliant astrology soulmates, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of April 7th, moving all the way to the 13th. And this week, we've got a bit of an illuminating week. We've got a little bit of forward motion going on for us because not only is it a full moon week, so we're going to have things that are revealed. We're looking at certain awarenesses and changes and shifts and pivots that are coming to patterns that we've been working on that need rebalancing, but also Venus and Mercury come direct this week, and Mars comes back in bounds from being out of bounds, so it'll ease some of that edge off. And so we also are given a dose of a little bit of emotional clarity in how we'd like to move forward. In true Neptune in Aries fashion, you guys, I have to tell you, I was this close to this week having to do our weekly video in an eye patch because I got an eye infection. And I have no idea even how I got an eye infection this week, but it has resolved. So it made me curious, as Neptune has moved into Aries for you, what is starting to unfold for you? What are you experiencing? Because when a planet comes into a new sign, it's like strumming the string of a guitar, right? It's trying to key everything to the tune of Neptune and Aries. So it's going to start strumming that, and the things in our lives that are a little bit off, especially of the Aries variety, are going to start to take shape. So let me know in the comment section down below what's happening for you. I've avoided the eye patch, but you know, there's still room for more. All right, before we jump in, there's going to be timestamps in the description box down below, as always, so you can go to the particular day that you want to look at. And please make sure that you have your natal chart so that you can see where this is happening against your particular chart. If you don't have a chart already, that's also in the description box down below. Last item of business. Really excited. I'm popping back over with our friends at Astrology Hub, and I'm going to be the lunar guide going through the new moon in Taurus and the full moon in Scorpio. And we've never done this before, but I'm so excited. Astrology Hub is offering a 50% discount to come on over and join the inner circle. 50%, which means you can come over, be a part of the tribe that's coming over for the lunar month, stay beyond that. Plus I have a masterclass that I'm teaching exclusively for Astrology Hub. You're not going to get it anywhere else. So I would love to have you over there. Click in the link in the description box down below. I've got my link, so you make sure you're getting that 50% off. So what a beautiful thing coming from our collaboration with Astrology Hub. And so I will see you over there for the lunar events. All right, beautiful friends, let's jump in here and talk about what's going on this week. So first things first, coming in on Monday, April 7th, the moon, as we're coming in, that is going to set the tone of the day and kind of how people are vibing, is in Leo until we get to the evening time, and then we're going to take some void, of course. Mars is coming back in bounds on Monday. This is massive. Now, as Mars was out of bounds, when Mars goes out of bounds, we see what looks like excessive out-of-the-box kind of action, like Mars has free reign of the terrain, problems, conflicts. You know, it can be really, really a lot of movement and a lot of energy going, and it can feel like war. We can start to see militaries start to activate. We can see all of these things going, and you have your own little military in your personal life as well. Now, what we also get to see is strategy, how we're going about building some kind of strategy that's outside of the box of how we would normally have done things. In this way, I think that this is incredibly, incredibly useful for all of us, because what we have gotten to learn is how to do something in a way that we've never been able or never been put in a position where we needed to strategize how to do that before. So now as Mars comes back inbound, you don't lose the gift of the strategy that you learned. Whatever you learned to do, whatever plans you were making, whatever honest desires, especially emotionally, that you found out you want to go after, you're likely going to be able to pursue them in a very different way that's going to bring different results into your life. Now, really, one of the things that I have been thinking about for us, and yeah, please let me know in the comment section, because we spent a lot of time doing the Mars in Cancer dance. Where did you get a new strategy around how you are going to get your security needs met? right? Whether that be emotionally, whether that be through nurturing in your relationships. What kind of boundaries did you see you needed to set up with people, places, and things? What does this look like for you in a very strategic way? Because ultimately what you're wanting with the Mars retrograde in Leo portion is to be able to live yourself, right? Live in your best joy. But we can't do that if we're not feeling grounded and we're not feeling safe and secure. So we've needed a different strategy. We've also needed a different strategy in terms of even how we create security around resources in the world. What do you call home? So let me know what you've been experiencing with that out of bounds kind of energy, and what's the new strategy that you have, okay? I'll make sure I share mine in the comment section down below this week as well. Now, we're also going to see around 4 o'clock in the morning, we're going to see that we've got Venus stepping into this conjunction with Saturn. Okay, so a Venus-Saturn conjunction here, this is actually really sweet. This is a really nice kind of energy because it takes the rose-colored glasses off where we need to see things in a different way, right? You feel it with your heart, but you're seeing it in a way that is more grounded. The rose-colored glasses are lifted. It's an aspect that reveals the weight of the truth of what's really going on with something. It's about your value, in your relationships. What's the honest value of this or not? Whether it's spoken or not, what is the value that you're seeing? So this is an aspect where we're going to ground down into it here. And we're going to look at where we've made commitments and we've made contracts. What is still the value of them? Now, we want to keep in mind that at this particular point, Venus is in those last moments of being in her retrograde. So we are still looking back at current things and themes of value and relationship and finance that are currently on the table, not necessarily the things that are new. Thank goodness we have this Leo moon to be helping us out because it's a lot more creative. It's a lot more expressive. Just behind that, 7 minutes after this aspect comes into play, 4:07 a.m., and that's again Mountain Time, we see Mercury coming direct in Pisces. Woohoo! We're coming back online. But we want to keep in mind that yes, Mercury is coming direct under this energy, so that's fantastic. It's already come through here. Now, decisions that you've needed to make, conversations, maybe even dreams that were bubbling up for you, it's going to start to have a little bit more energy to move those forward with a bit more clarity, and that is fantastic. I mean, we've been doing this back and forth dance with both Venus and Mercury between Aries and Pisces. You know what I want and what I'm doing and how I feel and how it seems. And so now you've got a little bit more of, okay, this is how I feel. What decisions am I going to make, or what information do I have around how I feel? And is that what I really mean when I go to say it out loud, right? So you've got that kind of energy. Now, the one thing I want to remind us is that Mercury needs to get into its post-retrograde shadow time energy, and we're not going to have that until we get later in the month. So there is still some hang up. There is still some lack of clarity that's here, even though the energy is available to start moving in that motion forward. It's still just moving in these same degrees that we've been working on the whole time. None of this is new. None of this is new. The perspectives, the revelations that you bring into it, these are new. So let's just say let's say you had to sign a contract or you were reviewing a contract. You already knew everything that was there, but you may be in a different mind frame around that particular contract, okay? All right, at 9:08 p.m., we're going to see that the moon is going to shift into a void of course position. Now, going into the void of course position, the energy that it is taking with it is Mars having squared against Uranus. So the square is telling us I have to do something. I have to do something. I have to take some kind of action. So as the moon, squares against Uranus in this energy, we can feel like it's been something emotionally triggering or something emotionally exciting has happened, and it's popping us into a new scenario. It's popping us where we're going, well, now wait a minute. I maybe feel like I have to protect myself, or I feel like I have to defend myself, or I'm having like a mood swing is almost what it can feel like. Instead of having the emotional outburst and then taking that outburst into your void of course, what I would say is, listen, I started at a freak out. I freak out about most things most of the time, and then I celebrate the spirituality and the maturity of my second thought. You know what I mean? And so that's the thing. If something comes up for you in this void of course time, or in this square time, and then you go into the void of course, you can use the void of course to review what happened, right? You don't have to burn a situation to the ground. You don't have to burn a moment to the ground. You don't have to let an emotional outburst set the tone for the day. You can have the experience, and then as you're in the void of course time, you can be going, okay, now what happened here? What's going on? What's the clarity that I need here? Because the void of course time is a reminder that the universe is kind. There's time to stop. There's time to rest. There's time, there's a small window where you get to go, okay, whatever has been revealed to me, let me move with that. Now, also, during the void of course time, we're going to see that Venus is in a sextile to Uranus, and this is a much easier aspect. Okay, it's a pocket of opportunity, but you're intelligently taking action on it. So we know during the void of course, again, Venus still retrograde. So again, it's something that you've already been working on. Take this window. What has happened Monday that gave you like a plot twist around your finances, around your romantic relationships, around something that you value, and now you're going to come at it very, very different. So, so think about it. Maybe you were feeling really vulnerable, really reflective about something, and then you get a text from someone about something. Something and someone are going to be the key words here. Anyways, the conversation, the message, the post, the DM that hits you, it's supposed to find you right then. And it's like going to flick you just on a new direction to be thinking about something. And likely what you're going to be thinking about is in how I'm behaving or how I'm responding. Am I loving myself in how I'm responding? And am I loving and honoring the commitment that I have taken on here? So let me know how Monday is going to go for you, because Monday is a good day for reality checks and love and money and what we're doing in our commitments. What I don't think it's the best day for on Monday is going to be doing things like today I want to have this big emotional truth with another person. Like I'm trying to push a relationship or a business decision in a particular direction. I don't think Monday is good for that. Now, Tuesday, we're still coming in. The moon is in void of course position as we're coming into the beginning of the day until about 6:39 a.m. Is that what we got here? Yeah, 6:39 a.m. again, that's mountain time. Okay, so we're still in void, of course, for those first 6 hours, so rest. Come in slowly. If you haven't participated in having slow mornings or things like that, or if you're one of our workers who's up at that particular time, remember, just kind of take it easy. We're working on things that are already there, not necessarily trying to make decisions or force things forward. And I always like to remind you guys that a way that we can, even if you're at work, or even if you are an EMT and these new calls are coming in, slow your mind down, stay at the basics. You don't need to figure out things that are going to be happening at 6:40 a.m. because we're in void of course until 6:39. So just keep it simple, okay? Now, after we've had this emotional weather that I think has peaked its head up a little bit on Monday to give us something to do and to deal with, and it will come into Tuesday with us because we are in that void of course position, and it lingers. Something else you can think about in the lingering, is there anything that you need to declutter? Is there any kind of journaling that you need to do? Because after that, the moon's going to shift into Virgo. And now we're going to be ready to get organized, all of the things internally, emotionally that have come up so that our external world is comfortable as well. So we become intentional, we become organized, we become available to say, I would like today to be the very best that it can be, but also participating with the fact that the South Node is in Virgo as well. I am not in control of the entire thing. The only thing, Mr. Brody, the only thing I am in control of today is what's in this bubble, not out there. I can only do and control me. So it is a great reminder on Tuesday that this is something that's going to be coming to your time and your attention. So when you're reviewing the last 24 to 48 hours on Tuesday in your life and in your being, right? This is a time where you can weave them together into a useful structure, into a useful plan to get yourself organized and ready to be your best self here on Tuesday. And that sounds very woo, but it's not, because let's say that what you found out is that I continue to find this out at the gym, that I have to keep lifting heavy things. And the only way to keep gaining muscle is to eat enough protein. I really struggle with eating enough protein, right? So if this is something you found out and you were really bummed about it on Monday or something like that, then you find out here on Tuesday in the second half of the day, okay, I need to meal prep. I can meal prep. If something came up with your finances, you're like, I can check my finances. I can make sure that things are on par with the budget. I can put things on auto pay so that it's always going out in the right time. I can redo my calendar and my schedule because I'm not happy with how I feel in my day. It's alignment. Tuesday is a day of getting it into alignment, especially in the second half of the day. Okay, now that energy is going to take us all the way through Wednesday. So you get some hours to get your life together and organized. So let's use them very well. Now on Thursday, as we're coming in with the moon in an opposition to Mercury. And this is going to happen right before it takes its next void of course. Now remember, we've had the moon in Virgo through Tuesday through Wednesday. So coming Thursday, we get midday, and this is where we're going to have that. Now, moon opposing Mercury. In an opposition, they're pulling in two different directions. And what happens is that we're going to make it tighter and more tense, or we have to find the sweet spot in the middle where we can get these two energies to kind of agree and find a sweet spot to work with it here. So, midday, we're in a bit of a tug of war before the moon hits this void of course. So if we're coming in and you're feeling that tug of war energy, and it's about your emotions, the moon, what do I need? Mercury, my mental processes, and Mercury has just come direct. So you're seeing things from a different perspective, or you've received different kind of information. And so what I want to say is pay attention on Thursday, because you may know like what's logical, but you may feel like they're not in alignment. Don't push for clarity. Don't push for clarity, because the moon is then going to head into its void of course. And after the moon comes out of its void of course, then you can have the important conversation. Then you can look to settle whatever situation has come up or present itself, right? It's so interesting. As long as I've been doing this, when we break down every week and I come here with you and we see how many moments we have where we need to push and we need to move and we need to really be in massive, like make it move forward action, it's not very many in a week. It's really, when we pan it out to a year, there's not a lot either. So much more of it is about navigating our own space. So hopefully you're starting to get that vibe, if you've been following for a while, that there's a lot more opportunity to pause, to let the mind especially, and let some of the energy settle before we're making a jump. Okay, now later in the evening, we're going to see that the moon comes out of void of course, shifts into the vibration of Libra. Now we're on an emotional ramp up because the moon moves into an air sign in the first place. It's also getting and building some energy as it's heading towards this full moon time. So we're expecting to want to have an internal space that feels balanced. Our attention emotionally is going to come to the places in our life that we feel have or do not have balance. We're going to come to our relationships. We're going to come to what has felt unfair, or how can I make this more fair, right? Like these are literally the thoughts or the questions. Where does balance need to be restored? So here, as we're traveling on Thursday, it's a good day. It is a good day for relational clarity, especially towards the second half of the day. But I also think as the moon moves and gets itself into an air sign, it's a great day for breath work. It is, again, not a good day for forcing a decision or forcing a relationship or forcing anything forward. Think more about being emotionally diplomatic as we move through Thursday and Friday, okay? Saturday, we see that the sun comes cazimi with Chiron in Aries, and this is going to be at 9 o'clock in the morning Mountain Time. So it's pretty bang on while we're starting to get up and we're moving around. We're also going to have the full moon in Libra happening. And then behind that, we'll see that Venus comes direct. So Saturday is a busy day. But let's talk through this. As the sun comes cazimi with Chiron in the morning time, it shines a light. It brings light, heat, life, and vitality to Chiron, which is typically the wound. It's going to shine a light on the places that we've been wounded, but it's also the medicine. Chiron is also the medicine, and in Aries, it's the medicine. It's the wound and the medicine of my identity, of my courage, my right to take up space, being exactly who and what I am. If you are not in the Venus Reset program yet, I would highly encourage you to jump in there, because let me tell you what, feminine energy is moving with such intense and beautiful, quiet, soft courage and taking up gorgeous space right now, that you want to get those blockages out of the way of your softness, of your ease, of your creativity, because it is going to be the mass support to all of the Aries wounding energy. It's the soft spot on the other side of that Aries vibration. And then we stand up here in our Aries vibration and you're like, I'm soft and I am easy. And I'm not letting any of this stress me out because I'm soft and easy, empowered, and connected. Anyways, I would love for you to jump into that. Now, to further support that energy, though, where we have access to our wound and our medicine, then we have the full moon happening in Libra, illuminating where we need to end something, acknowledge something, or adjust something. You'll have a separate Libra full moon video as well, where we'll go deeper into it. But for our purposes, this is that balancing of the self and others. You know, the places where you're celebrating something that you have built in your life in this 27-month cycle that you've been a part of. Now you're looking at what needs to go because we built it. I don't need that anymore. And the things that are going to stay. And the things that are going to stay, we need to pivot towards them. We need to recalibrate a little bit. And we're going to need to commit. We have to commit, right? We have to commit to it and say, this is really where I'm going to put my attention. And it cannot be in 15 things. I cannot be in 15 astrology classes. I cannot be doing 100 YouTube videos. I cannot be in all of these different relationships and think that any of them are going to be quality. What needs to be released because something that we see here is out of balance. And then the ruling planet of this lunation comes direct in Pisces. So literally, come back to your soft, come back to your art, come back to your intuition, creativity, your softness, your ability to move and roll your hips and ask your divine being, connect back in. What is right here? What does need to go? What's no longer an easy vibration of poetry moving through me? Where am I seeing pain? In my own body, in my own being, in my own cycles. Because while Venus was retrograde, we were reviewing these old love stories, these old value struggles, these old stories of creativity and what we've longed for and why we don't have it in our life. Many of us have been reviewing burnout and how we got there. And hands down, the answer is we lost connection with our Venus. We lost connection with the soft. This is a moment where the clarity of everything that we've been reviewing during this Venus retrograde time is coming to light. Clarity begins to return at this particular time. Now, again, there's going to be an individual video talking about the Libra full moon. So heads up for that. I'll make sure that you guys are able to see that on the homepage. But there's also going to be a little post on the blog that's going to come out about Venus coming direct and what we've been able to see. Okay, so if you have a wave of emotions that pops up for you on Saturday or a wave of clarity, instead of collapsing, I want to invite you to come into your hips, roll those shoulders back, and I want you to get taller, not smaller. That's healing. This is that Chiron at the beginning of the day. This is that Libra moon showing us that we cannot be all things for all people, but we can be sure the hell everything in the spaces that we want to be, especially if we are moving with intuition, we are moving with love, and we are moving with our own poetic poetry. That is balance. So Saturday is a day, emotional breakthroughs, spiritual softness, releasing relationship karma can come out of that as well. Okay, moving on to Sunday to wrap up our week. First of all, we're going to have the moon come into a square with Mars before it's going to head into void of course energy. Okay, now moon square Mars, we're closing the week with some emotional depth. The moon square Mars, it stirs tension coming early into the first hours of the day. Journal, walk, breathe. If you're up, you've got stuff on your mind, I'm going to encourage you, do your laundry. Do the practical things in your life. Do the practical things in your life because that square, especially to Mars, wants you to do something. Do something that's going to help you move forward and relieve the tension, right? The moon after that is going to move into the vibration of Scorpio to take us through the rest of Sunday. So now we're ready to go deeper. What else has been calling? You've seen a lot this week. Mercury and Venus are direct. So now, even though you're looking at the same old things, what new perspective do you have? What are you aware of? I can just tell you over here, I am so aware of things in a really different way, that I'm moving in a way that's more soft, that's more connected, that's more about ease and not needing to be burnt out, inviting the softness in, right? So the Scorpio moon is about power and our power dynamics. It's about passion. It's about loyalty. It's about inviting the fact that we have a shadow side that doesn't need healing. We have a shadow side that's working just fine. And that we have some shadow side things that also do need healing, because we can come to a transformation about them. So if Saturday, something feels like it is cracked open for you, Sunday is that opportunity to go into the waters and transmute it, come out as the phoenix, right? Good for shadow work, good for energetic healing, good for anything that has to do with sex and sensuality, as long as it is consensual. We do consent around here, right? So come into your hips. This is all your sexuality lives in here as well. When's the last time you had a good roll? Move them around. Tell me what you feel. What happens when you honestly roll your hips, you move your body like this, and you come into the depth of even the story your pelvic bowl has been holding? Let me know in the comment section down below. It's not a good day for emotional manipulation. So if, especially with the moon being in Scorpio, if you feel like you're having some feelings, you're having some things that are coming up, and you move towards something or someone to just try to fill the hole instead of investigating and researching why it got there, the manipulation will be the tactic that you will likely use to try and get it done. It's a day where the moon's in Scorpio, we can see jealousy rise to the surface. And you know what? It's not about pushing all of these things down. Sometimes what has to come up. But if you see these words or you see these behaviors coming out of you, this is an awesome opportunity to take a look at, okay, what is that? What's going on with me that this is coming up? Especially jealousy. Jealousy is a rough one to work with, no matter which domain of life this is happening for you. So my beautiful friends, I hope you have an absolutely gorgeous week. Enjoy the deep healing that is again available to us because we're alive another week. Mercury, Venus coming direct, Mars back in bounds, full moon week. We have plenty to do and understand. So look forward to your Libra full moon video that's coming up. If you haven't already watched your April 2025 horoscopes, make sure you check that out. May will be out in just a minute. And I look forward to seeing you over at Astrology Hub. Come and join us. What a good time. And I'm really excited to go back over there. I love the connection that we have with the Astrology Hub crew. So I love you guys. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week.